Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining me for another video. So this week I want to dive into procrastination. I think this is a great topic because if you're honest with yourself, you're not a perfect human. You've procrastinated on something in your life, and I love finding out whys. So why do people suffer with procrastination? Really to the point where it's detrimental to them, right? Where they never take action on the things that they should that are healthy for them. So let's get into why people procrastinate and really what are the things that we have to do to kind of overcome this for ourselves so we can do things that are good for ourselves, are healthy for ourselves. Now, if you are new to my channel, my name is Stephanie. I'm a life and relationship coach. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. If you have never seen any of my videos, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button down below. And also don't forget to click on post notifications. This will inform you every time I do upload a new video with a new topic. So let's get right into this week's topic. To start things off with procrastination, one of the most important things that you have to do in your life, I believe, is set goals for yourself. The reason why we have to set goals is because it gives us something to achieve, something to work towards. So if we don't have any goals in life, then who cares if we even procrastinate on anything, right? Because we don't care about anything. But if you really care about something and you have a goal that you want to obtain, or something that you want to achieve, this is important towards working towards healing some of the things that are going on inside of you that are perhaps causing you to not achieve that goal. So with procrastination, it's important to understand how our mind works. So we all have an ego, and our ego at times wants to keep us stuck. The reason why it wants to keep us stuck is because that part of yourself doesn't like change. It doesn't like being uncomfortable. It doesn't like stretching ourselves. Even if we know something is actually good for us and we have to stretch ourselves to maybe get out of our own comfort zone so we can achieve this goal, so we can grow as a human being, that part of you doesn't want anything to do with that. That part of you just wants you to sit comfortable in your little pool of daily activities and routines that you do that don't force it to feel uncomfortable or to work hard or anything like that. The other aspect of procrastination that I think is really important is how we label things in our life that we have to do. So that ego always will gravitate towards the thought of, oh, if I do this and this is bad, then I don't want to do it. If it's going to stretch me and make me uncomfortable, then I don't want to do it. It's almost like having that ego is almost like having a child that's relentless to want to do something that you as the parent know is good for the child. And the child perhaps is kind of dragging their heels in the mud on doing this thing that is very good for them and healthy for them and that will help them in life. So as a parent, you look at that child that's dragging their heels and saying all the negative stuff as to why doing what they have to do stinks or isn't fun or I don't want to do it, or all these negative stories that they've put around this thing that they have to do. And you, the parent, come in and you try to, I guess, maybe convince the child or get the child to see the positive sides as to doing this thing, right? So, hey, Joey, if you do this, like this will allow you to meet new friends. This will allow you to take better care of yourself. Eating well is good for you, like all of these things. So we as the parent put a positive spin on the negative stories that the child is saying as to why they shouldn't do this thing that we know is good for them. So it's all about the stories that you tell yourself. And here we go with parenting ourselves, right? So if I want to go to the gym and lose weight, or if I just want to get in shape, or if I just want to feel better about myself, and I've said, okay, I'm going to make small goals for myself. And that's really important. It's better in life to create small goals for yourself that you know are achievable rather than setting this huge goal of like, okay, I've never gone to the gym before and now I'm going to go 5 days a week. So if I've never done something and I'm going to begin creating new habits for myself, I want to make sure that they're small, obtainable goals. And once you have obtained that small goal, then you want to stretch yourself to push yourself a little bit further to obtain a different one. It's no different than going to the gym and lifting weights. You're not going to go and start lifting 50 pounds. You're going to go and start lifting small amounts. And as you get comfortable and it becomes really easy to lift 20 pounds, then you might go up to 30. Just a small example. But all procrastination has to do with is a few things. Number one, the stories that you tell yourself. So the story is, well, if I get up and go to the gym, it doesn't really matter because I'm probably not going to lose the weight anyways. Well, if I start this business, I'm probably not going to make any money on it anyways. Well, if I So it's, if I, eat the salad, well, then I won't be satisfied and I won't get to eat the chocolate cake. Like, the chocolate cake tastes better. It's what I want to do. And it's almost like a child. You're just indulging in these negative stories rather than being the parent to yourself and choosing what is best for you and putting that healthy choice, putting a positive spin, which is not lying to yourself. It's putting the reality, putting the actual reality, the truth about doing this thing in front of the negative story that you're telling yourself. So again, the ego doesn't know that by making you a little uncomfortable, by pushing yourself, right, that it will actually allow you to have the things that you want in life, right? And this is, here we go with self-motivation. Here we go with, self-worth. Here we go with self-parenting. Here we go with having positive and healthy self-talk. A lot of what I talk about, doesn't matter any aspect of the topics that I talk about on this channel, it all has to do with self-talk. It all has to do with self-parenting. It has to do with the inner conversations that you have with yourself and being very mindful of what it is that you are saying to yourself. So some people don't practice mindfulness. Some people aren't really aware. They don't question the thoughts that they think, right? They don't say, well, okay, I'm procrastinating right now. I know I should be doing this. And I know I just told myself a story as to why I shouldn't get up and go to the gym, or why I shouldn't work on this thing that I know I need to work on, or why I shouldn't go change the laundry over, right? But I know I should do it. And start having these inner conversations and start picking and choosing the thoughts that you want to think, and recognizing when the negative story comes, where that negative story is coming from. For me, that was like really huge when I started pinpointing, oh, here's procrastination, here's the ego that wants to keep me stuck. I knew that when the ego started talking and was telling me that negative story, I knew that that wasn't my story. I knew that that was ego talking. I knew that that was probably just a wounded, scared part of myself that was really nervous. I knew that when the ego was saying those stories to me, that that was just really that part of myself that was like wounded and scared and insecure, and that I had to help that part of myself. It was that inner child that was like, look, why even bother? Like, why bother getting up and working on this business? Like, I'm not gonna make any money. Or why push myself and go to that gym by myself and do a class by myself? Like, why push myself out of my comfort zone? What is the point? It's very easy to just indulge in those negative stories. It's a matter of, and I say it all the time, it's a matter of practicing new habits to create a new you, right? To create healthy self-talk. The more you do it, the easier it gets. I constantly am saying that. In the very beginning, when I started challenging my thoughts, or even recognizing procrastination. And sometimes I can recognize it easily, and sometimes I don't, and I indulge in it. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, wow, I didn't do what I needed to do because I procrastinated. So I think the biggest thing with procrastination is self-worth. Believing and knowing that what you want is going to happen, knowing that you are the creator of your life, knowing that you are no different than anyone else and you are worthy of everything that you want in your life, and that it literally can happen as long as you work hard towards a goal. And not needing to know when it's gonna happen, how it's gonna happen, where it's gonna happen, just knowing that it's gonna happen and just taking action every day towards those small goals, and you eventually will reach that goal. So for me, I think that I started living life like that, and honestly, it created a lot of peace in my life. It created a lot of happiness because I didn't struggle so much with trying to control the when and the why and the how or anything like that. I just worked hard every day in many areas of my life, and eventually you see the results. Eventually what you want comes to fruition. As long as you're not concerned about the whys and the hows and the whens and the negative stories, if you can let all that stuff go, that's the wall that's in front of you that's basically blocking everything that you want to come to you. You know, when we have the stories of what if I don't succeed? What if what I want doesn't come to fruition? Look, we're all human. We're gonna have those stories from time to time. We all have an ego. I mean, I still have those stories that come up for me, but it's a matter of, do you, in the moment of that story starting, like I say, the tape, when the tape starts playing, do you play the tape over and over again? Do you indulge in the tape? Do you live in the tape as if the tape's really happening and it just defeats you to the point of not even getting up and taking any action? Or do you understand where that tape is coming from, and that tape has nothing to do with you? That tape is part of old programming. And do you take initiative in those moments of the tape playing to stop the tape and say, you know what, I'm not going there right now. I'm not believing the tape. That tape's not even me. I'm not even thinking any of those thoughts. That's just part of like my wounded self, my ego self, that part of me that's like really, really scared. And in the beginning, what I always say is actually even the best for you is to parent that tape. Sit down with that tape and have a conversation with it. Why do you think we won't succeed? What are you so scared of? Helping yourself through the fears that you are having. Remember, all of procrastination has to do with, like I said, setting the goal, making sure we know what the goals are, making sure they are obtainable goals, and knowing what you want, self-worth, right? Letting go of all the what ifs, right? All the ego stuff. What if it doesn't happen? What if I can't succeed? Learning how to parent that part of ourselves, and then just taking action. At the end of the day, nothing ever will come to fruition for you unless you get up and take action. So if you want something bad enough, if you have a craving, a desire for something because you know that you deserve it, to me, the self-worth, the deserving part, that's really at the forefront. That's really at the top, because for me, I always looked at it like the minute I really knew I deserved something, we can all say, yes, I deserve this. Yes, I deserve a great relationship. But you have to have such an uncontrollable knowing and urge, just a feeling inside of like, I know I deserve this and I'm going to get it. Like, you have to be hungry for what it is that you want. And I think if you're not hungry enough for something that you want, that you know is good for you and healthy for you, then it comes back to the stories that you tell yourself. So you're obviously telling yourself a story as to probably why it may not happen, why it could not happen, what if it does happen and it doesn't work out, what if I fail, what if I don't succeed, what if I do succeed and I can't handle it, like all of those stories. So being mindful of the stories, tending to those stories, parenting those stories. This is about self-love. This is about you taking care of yourself. This is about you learning how to be the parent for yourself. So, and I always say, you don't need to have children in order to learn how to self-parent. Just think of all the people in your life that when they call you and they're going through something difficult or struggling with something in their life, how much you show up for everyone else and what you give to them, and how that should be all the stuff that you're giving to yourself. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next week.